gonna love this.
I want to hear it. I'm objective. You're critical.
Anico at the disco.
He's positive. Join the Mixtape 615.
Today, tomorrow, yesterday,
It is the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville.
forever. Testing. 1, 2, 3. This is a Mixtape 615 podcast, baby. And rest right here, right now, is the place to be. Check this out. I'm gonna switch it up for you one time. All right, one time, because I need you all to know it's 2025. It's 2025, and we are officially the voice of the fans. Okay, so if you want to know what's going on with them boys in gold, then you need to be listening to this podcast. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm your boy Tunji. Now check it out. I'm known by many names, aka Young Turtle, the Soccer Face, SF Doom, the DR Kid, affectionately known as Steam Papi, llámame por favor, aka Mississippi Mai Tais on this beach in Belize, feeling cool like a summer breeze. Aka you see me on the street, do not lock eyes with me, cuz. Do not lock eyes with me, cuz I will challenge you to a pokey battle. Okay? Aka, I was gonna call out Southside, but I forgot. It's okay, because we got a new spot for y'all. We got a new spot for y'all to check out. We can't wait for the season to start. Our new pub partner is going to be Lucky's 3-star bar, and that's 3 stars out of 5. And if you see me over there, I will be munching on a glizzy because I'm Chicago Mike, the Glizzy Gladiator. All right. You guys will figure that out in time. Anyways, Austin, can you tell them who you are?
What's up, guys? Happy New Year. I am Austin, as Tunji said. I am known by many names as well, a.k.a. Wild Main, ready for 2025. You can catch me known as Ginger Snap. Don't cross this ginger. He may snap. A.k.a. The Fumbling Dublin, a.k.a. Chicky Parm Parm, a.k.a. Red Beard, the dopest pirate in all the 7 seas. Logan, tell them who you are in this new year.
All right, everybody. It is Logan, a.k.a. Beer Main, and I've lost a few as I've moved on from education, but that is okay. I'm still Manga Main, Beer Main, the love of everyone's life. And This is the Mixtape 615 podcast, brought to you by the Mixtape 615 supporter group, the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville and all of soccer in all the world. And you know you want to jump in with us, so go to mixtape615.com. That is mixtape615.com. Dues are coming up. I believe they're going to be a little different than they were last year, but we'll see here in just a little bit. You want to jump in with us, and there is a lot of soccer news out there, guys. From schedules coming out to players moving, all about. This has been a wild offseason so far, but we want to bring it down to Nashville because we got to talk about some of our players that have moved on in Shaq Moore and Lukas McNaughton. Take it away, Tunj.
Yeah, I mean, we all saw the news, and it was kind of like just one right after the other. By the time we heard about McNaughton, it was just like the next thing we know, we were losing Big Shaq. So by now, most people should know Nashville has traded away Lukas McNaughton and Shaq Moore. Both of them for GAM. That's sweet general allocation money. You know what I'm saying?
How sweet.
Very sweet. I believe what we got more for Shaq than we got for McNaughton. I think McNaughton, Shaq was like $50K in GAM in 2025, and it could be an additional $100K, so $150 in total if you're doing the math. That's just conditional GAM if he meets certain performance requirements or he's sold overseas, something like that. And someone remind me, does anyone see what we got for?
It's 150 in 2025 GAM. No, 150 in 2025 GAM for Lukas McNaughton. So he actually got a little more, and then an additional 50 in conditional 2026.
Oh, so 200. Oh, so I had it backwards. Goodness gracious. I didn't.
Which is surprising. I think you said it how we all expected it.
That is the case, man. Like The expectations behind it were that Shaq, as a person who has not only played in Nashville and done a pretty great job in Nashville, but who has also played on the U.S. national team, has made 19 appearances there since being in Nashville. It's crazy to think that he is moving to Dallas for less than $200,000. Now, they did take over his salary, which was around $800K, and that's pretty nice to have off our books. But still, only 150 up to 150. It's not even guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean he's a little older. If you're looking between him and Lukas, he's a little older, man. I think we showed that McNaughton in the right system can thrive if he stays healthy. And Shaq, I mean, I've heard some talk. We've definitely seen it on some of the Reddits and some of the chat rooms that we're in, Discords. You know, Shaq has not looked the same since the World Cup, his World Cup appearance, where he just didn't really acquit himself the way I'm sure he wanted to, you know. So it's I don't know if any of that had an impact on his selling price. Again, age, his overall fit, but you know, it's just one of these things that when you have a season like what we had, and you spent the money that Nashville spent to come up with a big nothing burger that what we had last season, some heads are going to roll. And unfortunately, that was Shaq's and Lukas. I'm sure there's more to come. But enough about that. What the people want to know is, how do we feel about it, right? So, Logan, can you tell me, actually, I'm sorry, Austin, can you tell me, you know, are you behind? Do you think that one of these players should have stayed?
I was actually pretty surprised by both of them because they were both protected players, and maybe they were protected in the expansion draft because they were going to trade them. Maybe they already had that plan to trade them, so they didn't want to lose their trade equity, or you would call it. And so with that, I'm hopeful in the sense that I think I believe in what BJ Callahan is. You know, we've seen some of the additions.
Yeah, that's very conditional.
I think I do, you know, because what we're seeing with like the Patrick Jesbeck added, the top add, both from Norway's first league, you know, we'll see how these younger players has talked, and we've talked about it just as fans from what we've seen from the announcing, from what he's talked about as far as BJ Callahan, his press conferences. All of his talk is around development and getting these younger players in. Now, Lukas McNaughton was a little bit more shocking than the Shaq Moore. Shaq Moore being a little bit older. Yes, he's shown that he's not afraid to get rid of the veteran presence, which I'm a little surprised in. But he's trying to develop a new team. He's got Julian Gaines, who's shown that he looked pretty good late in the season last year. He was one of the only promising things that we, as Mixtape 615 here on our pod, that we talked about late in the season. And so with that, I think that there is some promise to this, that he's given some younger players. We also found out in this offseason that we weren't as billionaires or millionaires as we thought we were. And so I think adding that GAM is going to help out whatever BJ Callahan is looking to do in the future, whether that is buying down some contract for some other signings, whether that is looking forward to other trade proposals, whatever BJ Callahan has in the future. I think that it is, these are future moves. They may not be the now moves, but definitely future moves.
Yeah. I mean, you said it, I alluded to it earlier. The GAM situation was looking precarious.
Which is surprising. Well, it's not surprising.
Is it surprising?
It's not surprising.
We spent we were the fourth highest payroll in the league.
Maybe that's why we kept having to trade for GAM.
Did not work out in our favor. Like, let's be real. We spent the fourth highest. We had the fourth highest payroll in the league going into 2024 and through 2024. And where did we end? Bottom. We were darn near rock bottom.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm
we were one away from dead.
Heads are going to keep rolling until this. Like, you can't spend money like that and give me results like that. How many people do you know excited to show up to a Nashville SC game in February coming up.
Yeah,
that's the real problem. They're running out of money on the field, and there's no money coming in. Huh?
The amount of season tickets that they lost, the incentives that they're trying to put out there for those who are keeping their season tickets, for those that are, pushing forward for new season tickets. They're really trying. They're really trying to keep that going. But
they're definitely trying. Logan, hold on 1 second, man. I before you get going, I have this is really what this comes down to. The whole reason that we're talking about this is with these moves, these moves alone. Let's just look at just these moves alone. And remember how many guys we've let walk or didn't resign, have gone somewhere else in this offseason for Nashville SC. Are we looking at a rebuild or are we looking at a restructure? And let me clarify what I mean. Rebuild is a longer process. It's going to be, we probably won't see the fruits of this gam that we just acquired in the next 12 months, but maybe we will in the next 24 months. A restructure, that means we're going to take this money, maybe sign some more guys, maybe take this gam, maybe sign one big guy who can make an immediate impact. That's a 12-month this season type of deal. Restructure. What do you think? Rebuild or restructure?
So we're used to seeing a restructure, a quick fix, if you will. I won't even call it a restructure. We're used to seeing quick fixes. And that's been the case.
Band-Aid slap-ons.
That's been the case for a long time with Nashville. I think this will look more like a restructure. So it'll be a longer term than we're used to, but it will not be a long-term solution. I think that he is trying to, and when I say he, BJ Callahan, is trying to structure this team in a way that makes sense for him. And once he has his guys, then we will know a little bit more about where we're going to move from there. When it comes to these two trades, if you want to talk specifically here, what this might be a small look into the wider picture, peeping through the keyhole here, you're looking at him trading away a little bit of age, a little bit of maybe experience, but maybe some slow up as well. Especially with look at Shaq Moore versus Julian Gaines. Julian Gaines was quick. He made fast decisions. We talked about that a lot at the end of the year. He was making quick decisions on that right side. He was playing really well. And I love Shaq. I love the way that he played. I think he did play it a little bit more methodical, but I think what BJ is really wanting us to do is to quickly move that ball forward, to put that pressure up front. And that's what you're going to get out of Julian Gaines. Now with Lukas McNaughton, again, like Austin said, I think some of us were a little bit more surprised on that. Some of us were surprised because he was protected, thinking we may give him one more chance to take over that role. But with him leaving, it looks like BJ's really putting that faith in Josh Bauer. And I've said that I've been hot and cold on him. I don't know where I stand with how he plays, because he's always in great positions. It's kind of like he's in the backfield version of what I saw in Alex Wheel. He is always in great positions, but he's not always doing everything that I want to see from him. Now, Alex, again, won me over last year. Finally won me over last year. He did really well, man.
About time.
Well, I've been waiting for him to show up like that.
Hey,
and
that was the top 3 scorer.
He was your number 3 scorer for us last year.
Number 3 scorer.
And that's
Chaos
crazy.
That tells you everything you need to know about the 2024 Nashville SC season.
But that's really what it comes down to, guys, is like, where are we pushing the ball? Where are we putting our players, and where are we putting our faith? And it looks like BJ really is trying to put it towards, like Austin said, development, putting it towards quick moves to the front, for us to sign 2 forwards in the super draft versus what we've done several times over is signing, defensive guys. It's crazy that it looks like we're really trying to progress towards a more aggressive approach.
Now, if
It
I
looks
can,
like
and
that.
I know we've got to move on to another segment, but if I can real quick, I know that you just mentioned Josh Bauer. If you look at what Josh Bauer did last year, he was filling both Lukas McNaughton and Shaq Moore roles. I mean, when Lukas McNaughton was injured, he was coming in as that center back. And so what was happening was basically he was coming in to fill that role as a center back, which is his true position. And then he got thrown into the right back role because Shaq Moore was injured. That was out of his position. So we had some concerns with Josh Bauer on his positioning, on what Logan was just saying, kind of the likening him to an Alex Moyle in the back. And so with that, I think that he was kind of doing what he needed to do and what he could do. Later in the season, once BJ Callahan came in with these younger guys, like what we were talking about, I think that he found something in Julian Gaines. And so with that, I think that you're seeing more of what BJ Callahan wants to do. I mentioned it with his development with these younger players. And so kind of out with the old and with the new, I think is what BJ Callahan is wanting to do. So personally, I know you asked it, Tunji. I feel like this is more of a restructure. I don't think we're in full rebuild mode yet. Once we start getting rid of those DP spots, I think that's when you start asking, is it a rebuild?
Interesting. So both you and Logan think this is a restructure. I'm just going to be the guy. This is a rebuild. This is the early signs of a rebuild. I'm telling you, this is the early signs of a rebuild. They just don't have the money, right? They didn't have the money to support a better roster with better talent. So like, you know what I'm saying? It's what they're gonna have to do, or what we're seeing with these moves of Shaq Moore being let go, of Lukas McNaughton being traded. You see how shocked everyone was. I mean, this was one of the most talked about topics online. The fact that we all thought that those two were going to be guys that were going to start the 2025 MLS season with us, but they're not here. So now what I believe is that we're not going to see another. We probably won't see this GAM be put into action until maybe December, that around that time, if that. But I don't think that we're going to see BJ Callahan's vision. And BJ Callahan and Mike Jacobs, let's not remember who is really in charge of building this team. It's Mike Jacobs. Wow. It's Mike Jacobs. It's Mike Jacobs. It's Michael Joshua Jacobs. This is what it's going to be. Okay. So I think it's a rebuild. I think we're going to see a lot of young talent come in. Speaking of young talent, that's what we're going to talk about next.
Are you tired of neck or back pain? Maybe it's shoulder pain or headaches get in the way of your busy life. Well, Christ Chiropractic is right here in Franklin, Tennessee, and they've been helping families and professionals live their best life for over 25 years. They specialize in spinal decompression therapy and chiropractic adjustments that are there to tackle the pain and get down to the root cause without drugs, without surgery. So whether it's stress from work or chasing your kids around, they have got you covered. Visit christchiropractic.com. That's CRIST chiropractic.com to schedule your appointment and take the first step toward living a pain-free life.
And we are back, guys. We know that just before Christmas, the super draft for MLS has happened. And you had two pickups for Nashville SC. We had Alwyn Ka in the 36th slot. And then we also got a boy from South Carolina.
South Cackalack.
Yeah. His name is Ethan Balleck. Guys, let's take a look and deep dive a little bit more into these guys, some pros and cons that we see with them coming in. You have Alwyn Ka. Let's start with him. Tunji. This guy's coming from Cornell.
Interesting.
The only other guy I know from Cornell is Andy Bernard, the Nard dog from The Office. So talk to me a little bit more about what you're seeing out of this guy. Give me a good pro that you're seeing out of this guy.
I'll tell you what, man. He's a game decider. I think he had like 4 in his final season at Cornell. He had like, what was it? Let me make sure I got this right. I looked it up beforehand here. Yeah. I mean, he scored 8 goals, had 3 assists, but 4 of those goals were game-winning goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a career high for him. And so he's coming. The guy can make decisive plays. If there's something we know about Nashville SC and Huntsville FC for a little bit there, they weren't decisive team.
City.
They weren't a decisive team. Neither one of them. So, this is one of the big pros you see with a guy like Alion Ka coming in, or at least getting drafted if he decides to take that spot, wherever the BJ Callahan and co put him. Now, I mean, we've talked him up a little bit. He's on the backside of that. This is a super draft pick, guys. MLS is just one of the weird leagues in the United States where a lot of the fans, they don't realize how little the super draft means to teams like Nashville and its other MLS team. I think who's the only other team that utilizes the super draft well? What is that, like Philadelphia? Like, what I mean? The Philadelphia Union, I think, are the only one of the ones. Yeah,
I think Philly is the only ones. But Philly, hey, that's where BJ came from, right?
Exactly.
Maybe
we might see some success this year. I'm not excited when I hear about the super draft, and I hate that because I'm so excited for the NFL draft. I'm so excited for the NBA draft. I can't wait to see that young talent. But the fact of the matter is, you don't find the best youth talent in college in this country.
You're looking more from
where you find it.
You're looking at Europe. You're looking at development, like academies, that kind of thing. Those homegrown players. So most of the MLS signings, as far as like impact players, just like you said, aren't coming from the draft. They're coming from the Patrick Yezbecks of the world, the Fafa Picault, the Wubens Pasillas that you've heard us talk about, who's with Huntsville right now. And so, yeah, I mean, the MLS draft isn't as impactful, but I don't think that we need to ignore it altogether. Because
definitely not.
Some of these players who are coming in, if they play well enough, if they prove themselves, like I'm all about a Cinderella story. That's what, this is American soccer. And with America, we're all about the Cinderella story. And so I am all for watching these two forwards, seeing how they do in Huntsville and seeing what can happen. Are they going to be the players who make the impact and actually come up and play for the senior team and senior squad and actually make a difference?
I mean, if you look at it, we have players on the pitch right now that have been results of the super draft. Bauer, Mayer, Jack Mayer. Those were super draft picks for us. So, I mean, it's not that it is something to just completely pass over. We can see success out of it. But with that being the case, we do want to also make sure that our expectations are kind of realistic. We know that they'll likely go to Huntsville first to see some development. The guys last year that we had signed in the super draft or drafted in the super draft, I think we actually traded one of them pretty quickly. The other one,
Forrester Jago was signed after the fact.
Yeah, and Forrester
now he's gone.
Yeah, he's after, but now he's gone. So with that being the case, we do have another one in Ethan Balleck. I do want to talk about him a little bit. Man scored 9 goals with 5 assists last year. More assists at South Carolina in a single season than there has been in a single season, rather, since 2018. So I think there is a lot of positivity coming out of it. Is there anything that you see that might be a drawback? Austin, I'm going to start with you.
I mean, he's 6 foot for a forward, which isn't small, but it's also not like the biggest as far as the MLS goes. You can look at some of the physicality that you see in the box. I don't think that he's going to make that Walker Zimmerman type presence, that Sam Surridge type presence in the box, Wubens Pacias even that I alluded to earlier with Huntsville. And so I don't think that he's going to be, the big body that we like to see from forwards or from attackers or strikers rather. So I think that him playing a complementary role is more what you will see even in Huntsville. I think you're seeing more of a complementary role like a Tyler Boyd, an Alex Moyle type role where they're going to be in the box. They're going to cause some chaos, but they're ultimately not going to have the finishes that you want to see. I think that he can make some assist when you've got people in the box that know how to finish. But ultimately, even with Huntsville, I think he is more of a complementary role player.
No, I mean, it looked like in South Carolina, just to piggyback off of that real quick, it looked like when he was playing over there, he played a lot of that false nine, which is, to me, an interesting position in soccer. It shows me that you are a smart guy. I mean, this guy has a 4.0 GPA. He's leaving out of school with a 4.0 GPA. So like it shows me like if you're someone who has experience playing that false nine, your timing, your positioning, and when to, how to fool the defense, right? So the big thing that shows me in pro wise for him, like whether he does this with us or he does it with Huntsville SC, Huntsville City. Why am I messing up their name all of a sudden?
Huntsville City.
Because it's Huntsville City FC.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I don't like that.
HCFC.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think he's going to be a verse if he can pull on that false nine experience and really like show us why he was one of the more dominant players in the Sun Belt Conference last year. He's going to be a versatile player, which I love versatility in attacking players, obviously. Don't give me. I mean, look, Erling Haaland is an amazing football player, an amazing striker, but he's a pretty one track guy. Like you take him out of his element, he's not going to. What we've seen this year, he's not going to be as impactful. So I'm saying is versatility is something that I value very much, and I see
Mike
that
Jacobs
with this guy.
And Mike Jacobs did, I mean, obviously he's doing his job. He's supposed to do this, but Mike Jacobs did express his enthusiasm about them, saying that, the teams, they could enhance the team's attacking ability or capabilities. And so we'll see. Time will only tell, but we also can't ignore. Now, this is a hot take, if you will. This hasn't even been announced yet. I can allude to it. Coming in hot from the Mixtape 615 podcast, there is another signing by HCFC that has not been announced yet. Our favorite agent has some insight for us. Our favorite FIFA agent, Shea Soma, has some insight for us, but there may be a player who is a college goalie who may be coming in as the number one for Huntsville and battling for that number 3 spot in Nashville.
Interesting.
Now the number 2
We'll
spot.
keep some tabs on that. I can't wait to hear about that. Follow the account. Yeah, follow our socials because we will let you know as soon as that happens.
Well, speaking of keeping counts and keeping a count, there are things that always happen every single year that you kind of always lose your accountability with. That's right. We're talking New Year's resolutions. Yikes. And we want to give our New Year's resolutions when it comes to fandom and being a part of this squad that is Nashville SC as a whole. We're going to say that we're going to give those coming up next.
Hey, Nashville SC fans, if you are in love with this team right here, the boys in gold, it's time to take that fandom to the next level.
That is right. So you want to head over to mixtape615.com and lock in your 2025 season membership early. It is the best way to stay connected with all things Nashville SC and beyond.
I mean, why wait? Members get exclusive access to the latest news, behind-the-scenes updates, and everything happening this offseason.
And with the big announcements on the horizon, you won't want to miss a beat. Whether it's trades, signings, match day insights, we've got you covered.
So what are you waiting for? Visit mixtape615.com right now. Lock in your membership and stay ahead of the game.
All right, guys, we are back. Welcome back to the Mixtape 615 podcast. We are rolling into the new year with some New Year's resolutions that we've got. You've all made them. We've all made them. We've not stuck to them. You've not stuck to them. We're going to give you our New Year's resolutions for Nashville SC. We hope that they do stick to them. And our opinions, we think that these are good New Year's resolutions for the team to make. So Tunji, why don't you kick us off? Why don't you give us your New Year's resolutions for Nashville SC?
Every year, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, everybody, every year we step onto the new season. We step into the pitch in the new season wearing clothes that wearing jerseys that's they tell you who we are. It's almost like a battle cry. It's almost like part of our battle cry, right? It's an intimidation factor. Logan, I see you wearing the Man in Black jersey. That was an iconic jersey.
Yep.
In all of global soccer, people around the world look at that jersey and they say, "Huh, that's a nice jersey." If the team playing well, it's even scarier when they pull out those black jerseys when they're playing really well.
Yep.
Last year they failed us. Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear.
Last year they failed us with the most basic piece of garment I have ever seen a soccer team wear. Okay?
So bad.
They should have left that one on the drawing board. I don't care. And then they tried to save it with the whole iron-on patches for your neighborhood. You guys realize I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be the negative Nancy that everyone thinks I am. Well, but that was them trying to salvage it once it got leaked. All right, once the design got leaked because EAFC did some funny business and everyone saw the jersey design way earlier and they saw the fans' reaction to it. They realized that they messed up. So then they try to save it and be like, "Oh, well, this is you can customize it by putting this patch that, oh, by the way, it peels off after about 3 months of wearing."
Yep. Not even 3 weeks.
Yep. We going there. Okay. I gave you guys know what my New Year's resolution is. No more whack jerseys. Now, so no more basic designs. Give me a pattern. Okay. Don't give me the block. Give me something, man. Look at that. Look what Austin's wearing. You guys can't see. So which
Adidas.
Which
it's
Bayern
Adidas.
jersey you wearing? Which one is that one
That's
called?
Bayern Munich's second kit.
I'm not
It's
a
the
Bayern
second
Munich
or the
fan, but that is a
champions?
lovely, lovely jersey. Okay.
Got the
Nashville,
rose gold on it.
Adidas, step your game up because I feel like that was the start of all of our woes last year. As soon as they dropped that ugly
start.
jersey,
As soon as they announced it, everything went downhill from there.
everything went downhill from there. That's my New Year's resolution. Who's with me?
I mean, two hands up.
Let's jump in on that one. That's a great one.
Yes, please, no more whack jerseys. Now, was it you, Tunji, that saw? Was it Footy announced?
Yeah,
That's an early.
Is it an
prediction.
early second kit? Is that what it is?
it's an early prediction. I think it's of our new away kit. Which is
replacing the iconic Man in Black kit that you talked about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Something. And if you haven't seen this, we'll maybe put it in our stories and get
we
your
definitely
opinions.
If you guys haven't seen it,
a poll. How about we do a poll in our stories, Tunji? Can we do
poll,
that?
But if you haven't seen it, that just means you need to be in our Slack. All right.
Yep.
Well, we can open up some spots. Look, I'll say it right now on pod. We'll open up a channel for people who aren't in the supporter group that just want to support the podcast. Then you can be part of the conversation with the supporter group. We'll open up a channel just for you, and that channel will have all the news that you get from Nashville. If you guys don't know, we have basically a bot that goes and searches for news and puts it in our Slack right away,
Awesome.
so you'll never miss the news. But if you're just now hearing this, then that means you need to be down with the mixtape. So go ahead, go to mixtape615.com, sign up for a new year, new us.
I love that shameless plug. That was perfect.
It was so shameless, bro.
Yes,
So shameless.
no more bad jerseys. So if you haven't seen it, we'll put a poll up. We'll post it in the Slack. Hit us up if you want to join that.
Spoiler,
Logan.
it's bad. It's bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's
that jersey, that new
simplistic.
kit is bad. But Logan, as we are talking about these New Year's resolutions, give us what you feel like Nashville needs to focus on for this New Year 2025 season.
I'm going to focus mainly on the fandom, guys, for ourselves, for our fellow fans out here who are listening to us. Set your expectations low. Set your expectations low. We talked about it. This is going to be at minimum, it's a restructure. At maximum, it's a rebuild. But either way, there's some construction going on with the team. And you have to start slow with that. You've got to find the way that in. We have always, at least in the past, we have always started strong and kept it going, and then we fall out and we finish meh. This year, I think it's going to be a lot different. I think this year we're actually going to start slower, which is going to be really rough on us. Kind of like we started slow last year. I think by the end of it, we will find a groove, but you have to set your expectations low. We are not winning 10 games in a row like we did 2 years ago. Or I guess not losing, but still, we're not going in and having no losses in 10 games. Now, I don't think we're going to have 7 losses in a row like we did last year. But we definitely need to make sure we keep our emotions in check. Don't give up on the team. Just keep your expectations low.
Yeah, I think that that's a good one. I think that we need to manage expectations. What we expect, and I hope that Nashville SC exceeds all of our expectations.
That's why I want to keep
the
low.
hope for all of that's the hope of all of us as fans. We want Nashville to always exceed our expectations, even if they are high. However, I think that that is wise going into it, knowing what this is, knowing that this is the first coaching change that Nashville SC has had as a club, and this is the first full year that we will see with a new coach building his team and what that looks like. So I think that is wise. Now I'm going to give you my New Year's resolution. I think that both of y'all had good ones. I think that mine is something that we want to see on the pitch, which is New Year's resolution for Nashville SC is develop a more dynamic attack.
Work through
something
the middle.
Oh, man.
we need Hani Mukhtar to get back to being Hani Mukhtar. We need to have him play who he is, but in addition to that, we need to create less of a reliance on him. We need to build some sort of attack and some sort of forwards around him that we don't have to rely on Hani being Hani. Now, if he can be Hani, I am here for it. I want to see another MLS MVP season. It's rare you get multiple from the same player, but I'm here for it. If we can get Hani back to playing at that caliber and build an attack around him, I think that we have something to look forward to in 2025, and Nashville could exceed all of our expectations. But it starts right with the veteran players. You've got to get our DPs playing like they're worth a DP spot. That's Sam Surge and Hani Mukhtar. Regardless of what you do with a rebuild, restructure, whatever that is, these players are taking up a DP spot, and we need to create more dynamic attack. I don't care if we are losing games 4-3, as long as we are scoring goals. That's what we need to do to move forward. I'm fine with a rebuild as we are losing games like that. I don't want to see these scoreless games, 7-game losing streaks like we saw this last year.
I mean, don't forget, we did bring in another veteran too. I know we've been talking about the youth. We did. A lot of us are just because, again, the holidays happened. A lot of shakeup was going on. But we brought in Gastón Brugman.
Oh yeah,
From LA
Gastón.
Galaxy.
He won the MLS
How have we gotten this
Cup
far without
MVP.
talking about
MLS Cup MVP. Yeah.
I mean,
Holy crap!
you know, No one scores like Gastón. Shoots like
Yeah, no,
Gastón. Wears his boots like Gastón.
That's gonna be a
Stomping
fun
around
one.
Messi's foot like Gastón.
There you go.
There
Dude,
we go.
I cannot
We're gonna
believe I
do a whole
totally
stuff.
forgot about that.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
And that's the
thank you,
thing is
Logan, for bringing
there's
that
so
back.
much that has happened over this offseason. When it comes to our resolutions, it's some of us we're thinking young, we're thinking youth, we're thinking the development, but we have some semblance of a structure in the middle, especially with guys who know how to move the ball through the middle. Tyler
What I'm
Boyd comes back from his injury.
Yes.
We've got Patrick Yesbeck who can move the ball. I haven't seen Tag Seth playing yet, but I'm excited to see what he does with it. And then, of course, we have Gastón who knows how to move the ball through the middle with LA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw in the MLS Cup this last season.
Amazing.
He made a big impact just moving the ball, just being that veteran presence, and also the communication that it brings, because that's what we had lack of this past season in the midfield. Was we were missing that Dax McCarty type presence, and I think that Gastón can actually bring that. It's a veteran presence, a guy who knows what he's doing, a guy who knows how to communicate not only with the midfield himself, but knows how to communicate with the forwards, knows how to communicate with the defense, and is constantly being able to be that steady Eddie, that presence that actually is keeping us grounded. And that's what Nashville SC has missed all of last season.
My, what a guy, that Gastón. All right. Enough with the fun Disney puns. Man, yeah, let's get ready for a new season, man. We got a new year. I'm excited. First episode of the pod in 2025.
Let's go.
Austin,
Let's go.
Close us out, man.
All right. Well, this is a wrap of another episode of Mixtape 615 podcast, guys. Big love to all of you listeners out there. We couldn't do it without you guys. Get ready for this 2025 season. Regardless of what happens on the pitch, we are here to support our boys in gold. We are here to bring you all of the news. And so we want you guys to jump into mixtape615.com, guys. Hit that up. Join in for the 2025 season. We're going to have some new scarves. We're going to have some big fun tailgates, all the things you talked about it, Tunji, the Slack, the bot that we've got in there. You don't want to miss out on all of this stuff. So jump in mixtape615.com and join in for the 2025 season. Special shout out to our producer, Doug Branson. He is keeping us rolling. He is the real MVP. Don't forget, guys, stay connected. Hit us up at mixtape615.com and on all of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, X, all of that stuff. You can hit us up and find us at Mixtape615. And for all of our video content, you can find us on YouTube at Mixtape615 Pod. So guys, keep it rolling, keep it vibing. Until next episode, Mixtape 615 is signing off.